What's going on, guys? So this video really is going to show you the progress that I made, but mostly it's going to go over routing of the Top Gun's Rotrex Supercharger kit, the CR38, and the Ace kit. Now I happen to have a Top Gun's Ace kit. I think I bought one of the last kits that were sold, but the charge system that I have is for the Rotrex system. So you guys on G37s, I'm going to show you how I set it up. There are a couple different ways to do it, and when I say a couple ways, what I'm really talking about is the nooks and crannies, little lines, stuff like that. But check this thing out. It is looking pretty sweet. So this is the wide body, Liberty Walk wide body G37 that we have been building on the channel for a while, and it is not even close to done, but it is close to running, which is the key. So here we got the big front mount intercooler, 1,000 horsepower capable. That is per Top Guns. We got charge piping going up into the bay. Show you this side as well. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to lower it down on the ground, and I'm just going to show you some of the routing. The Supercharger obviously, or not the Supercharger, the intercooler obviously is an easy one. Mounts to the front, mounts to where your crash bar used to be. The Z1 crash bar I have showing up in the next day or two. That is going to go around the front, still going to bolt up with the brackets on there. You don't have to run a crash bar, but I would strongly recommend it. So why don't we drop this thing on the ground? I'll show you what we got cooking. Every time I see this car on the ground, it makes me happy. I start smiling because we've been building it for a very long time. Here's the front view. Just kind of showing off how it's looking so far. Obviously, it's got a long way to go before it's done. So let's get into it right away. Front mount intercooler, tons of clearance. My oil pan is dramatically lower than the front mount sits, so you're not going to have issues with front end clearance. This car is sitting pretty low, and we still have over probably 5-6 inches to the top of the intercooler. So I'm going to show you kind of the overview first. Boom. And yes, I've done a little bit of custom work to this thing as far as shining stuff up, painting, that kind of stuff. So here's what we got. Obviously, we got the passenger side charge pipe. Yes, that is a bed liner coating on it. Yes, you can comment down below and tell me what you think of it. This whole car is getting bed lined. Surprise. Yeah, I'm the only one that's going to be doing that, promise. So here's the other charge pipe for the driver's side. This has special bends in it that kind of wrap around. Move this hose out of the way. Now, the Supercharger system, this is, again, the Top Gun's Ace. This is a Vortec V3 SI, so this is not clocked or sitting in the exact same position that the CR38 is going to be, but everything else is almost identical on the system. So you're going to have a crossover pipe that I am still waiting on. The crossover pipe is going to come right through here, so you're going to have to cut this out. Basically make this bigger, and then it drops down, plumbs right into the top of the intercooler. Your blow-off valve, because it is the same intercooler, it's going to sit pretty close to the condenser. Make sure that you have the intercooler in front of the bracket, because I had it the other way around and I was touching, which I didn't like. So regardless of which way it's supposed to be, this is installed perfectly, brand new bushings, the whole works. I don't think it's an issue with the core support. Mount the intercooler on the front of the bracket. So that's a tile right there. I think there's a couple different options that you can go with. I still got to take this back off. There is a cone for sound. Now what I did, and I'll show you this, did a little bit of custom engineering here. So this is a line that comes up over the top of the radiator, which it's got a huge heat sleeve on it. and it plumbs through, and then it drops down, comes back up around, and I'm using one of the ports off the manifold. Yes, you can drill and tap and add one right behind the throttle bodies. I'm not going to have a flow issue or response issue to it. This is a very, very big line. So you're going to have to plumb to the blow-off valve, obviously. And then the other thing you're going to have to do, I wouldn't even say tricky part, is the power steering setup. So I decided that I wasn't really concerned about air crossing over my power steering cooler. So what did I do? Flip the mounts around like you're supposed to. And then I happened to see that it just perfectly lines up with these two on the core support. And so if you look, tons of clearance in there, surprisingly. So that is where my power steering cooler is sitting for now. And the reason I did that is because I do not want to take up space for the trans cooler and the oil cooler, which are going to be, can move this line, but you get the idea. They're going to be sitting in front of the condenser there. So what did I do? I drilled through the core support. The other one, I used the factory bracket. Now this is going to be hard to see. I did custom bend the lines on the factory bracket. So for example, I flattened out that bracket piece that holds the lines together, completely flattened it so I could still anchor it to the chassis. And then if you look, that is the original crossover that comes through and mounts into both lines. Now as far as the other line, I put a custom bend on that as well. Try to get you down in there. And so where the line comes out, it's bent back closer to the frame rail so that I have clearance around the bottom of the alternator there. The other thing you're gonna have to do is cut the core support. I used a circular tool, so I got like a perfectly circular cut. You don't have to do it that way, but I wanted to keep as much of the factory core support as I could. Again, still got to cut that piece out there. Same thing on this side. You're going to have to trim some off the bottom. You're going to have to move where this harness sits here. I flipped it on the inside, and then you're just going to be missing the piece that's normally on the bottom. And I wouldn't say too bad of a job there. Looks pretty good. Plumbs up into this charge pipe here, inside the fender well, and then right up into where the throttle bodies are going to be. So this is the setup I got going on right now. I'm waiting on throttle body adapters because I'm actually running the 3-inch 76 mil throttle bodies on this. Shout out to Simplified Garage for the adapter set. They can hook you up with the whole works. We're going to see. I think it's going to make a little bit better bottom end torque with the larger throttle bodies. I also think the throttle response is going to be a lot more fun because you're going to have more force induction at the blade. So this is kind of the overview of what we got going on. If you guys have not seen the episodes on this project, I'd recommend checking them out because yes, there's goodies under the hood. So is there throughout the entire chassis. This thing was stripped all the way down to the frame, completely redone, and we're getting to the point where we're almost done with it. So I'm personally getting very, very excited about this build. So stay tuned. I hope this video helps some of you guys out there if you were looking at potentially getting the Rotrex kit, or again, I don't think he sells the Ace kit anymore. But as far as power, I know a lot of you guys are curious on power. The Rotrex kit will push you up to 800 horsepower if your engine can handle it. Most likely your engine's not going to be able to handle it if you're running stock internals on it like I am. This particular kit, we're just hoping for around 550, 600 wheel. Fun little sedan to drive around. So that's all I got for you guys today. Stay tuned. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Now that you've heard that I'm going to essentially bedline the entire car, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the Supercharger kit. Most importantly, smash the like button, hit the subscribe. Lots of good content coming. We'll see you.